Any other questions?
I think I could try to summarize that part into the back to the, because this is an important project. So the project is Inclusive Smart Society. So how do you think the tackling of that smart should be done, and would AI play any role in that?
Yes. Absolutely.
But do you think it would help? Do you think it would add, or it might create more rifts?
Both. I think with the advent of any technology, I mean, think about the mobile phone. We never used the phone the way we are using it now. We're like scrolling, like doom scrolling, like we're scrolling endlessly, hours and hours. It was not the case 15 years ago, not that I remember, and it's not just happening in first world, quote unquote, developed country. From where I come from, everyone is doing the same thing. Pretty much as a society, we evolved into this. I mean, you are a designer, this practice, social behavior triggered by this one design of this phone, the way it's designed. But it is a piece of technology that has evolved tremendously in the last many years. There are good things about it, I get to learn immediately what's happening around the world. I get a lot of news on my feed. I am connected with my high school friend that I don't talk to him anymore, but he's on my social media, and I get to see he has a kid, whatever, all the updates of their life. So there are good things about it, but also we have seen that how social media, people have used it to propagate hatred. We have seen in 2017 during the Rohingya genocide, social media was practically used to reveal people's location. They have recorded the genocide in many of the social media to scare people off. In many places they're used to organize people to So all I'm trying to say, the technology we have seen throughout our history could be used in both directions, right? It could be used for something good. It could be used for something really evil. To your question about AI, I don't think we can. We have never been able to avoid technology altogether as a society. Any kind of technology, from electricity to computer to phone. Maybe there are people, I know I have friends who use those keypad phones, because they don't like this phone. They're this is a surveillance machine and I don't want to be known, I don't want to use GPS, I don't want to be tracked. I just want to be, safe from all kinds of things, which is true. This phone is probably listening to all of us. Not probably, it is. But we are using it, right? So I think AI is the same, that ChatGPT and the generative AI, everyone is, from students to, I know, even a lawyer that I asked a question, one of my lawyers, and he put it on ChatGPT and gave me that screenshot that this is what I'm getting from ChatGPT, research, it was really weird. So I think we have to, there is no way to escape, but we have to be responsible. And it is really the dawn of, in many ways, public consumption of AI. AI, the research has been going on for some time, but in last 2-3 years, it boomed in an unprecedented way. So there is no way, there is a lot of concerns, which is, I think, valid, absolutely needed, that the AGI consciousness, and if we would be taken over by machines and stuff like that. And again, because a lot of this is happening in the US, right? Meta and the open source AI, they're all based in the US, and there is an administration right now in the Trump administration. They're trying to cut down the policy to hold them accountable. They just want them to go free and do whatever they want to do with it, I guess. So this is also very dangerous to just think about it. So we have to just use it responsibly, and I think with time, because it's so early, too early, with time we will probably find more ways to how to integrate that. It's already part of our life, I feel. Especially I'm in academia and I know all my students are doing it. So I don't trust in any of their writing anymore because I think everything. Who knows? Yeah, who knows? So I'm So it's they are now making like images and videos. So AI is very powerful. It's a powerful tool, and there is no way that we would be able to avoid it. I'm not a pessimist. I don't think that this is, oh my God, we're gonna die because of this new piece of technology. But it's not also just what this inclusive smart society implies, that just because it's a piece of technology, it's gonna do good to us. So we just have to find, the smart would be finding us a reasonable, rational, ethical, like just way to use this technology, so that it doesn't create further division. It's not utilized to organize genocide, You could literally ask AI to find formula for how to do, like, make atomic bomb, that kind of stuff, like people experimented. We don't want that. We don't want that kind of dark stuff. And it should be used like we use our computer. I mean, it has helped us. Of course, there are like limitations on how we are using our phone for address, and we don't remember any numbers and that kind of stuff. But it also helps us to, manage our time. The way that I found it, even though you gave me a wrong location, but at least, at least I came here because of the map.
Yeah, everybody is lost
Without
when you first visit here, so
Oh my
no
God.
problem. Okay. And for me, it's, AI is very sometimes very helpful, because the concept of kansei is personal experiences. So sometimes, if I only focus on my own experiences, it's also sometimes very creative, but sometimes maybe it's really different from other public rules. So maybe the AI can support me to think about the more objectively and judge the things. So I think, and how we can involve the emotional reaction from AI. Maybe I think somebody will develop that in the near future. So then we will rely on the AI technology more than right now. So, but hopefully, I hope we can use it more. Good way to think about people's. The Japanese word omoiyari is giving the general reactions, or giving the goodness to people. So my design concept is basically on the omoiyari to people. So there's no the different the no exclusion, but all included in our society with the product. So I think if we can use the AI technology more, human-like, then it will also help us to get the objective solutions.
Yeah. Do you have any perspective on AI? You too?
Perspectives on the
What do you think about the young generation?
well,
Among friends, we sometimes discuss the impact of AI on how we, for example, write papers and stuff. But hearing from how you two talk about it, I think my surrounding is not that conscious enough about how asking ChatGPT to give the text to put in my paper, how that will affect my writing ability. Or
Yeah.
of course we think about it a little, but not enough.
yeah. My perspective might be a bit different, but my background was in computer science, so I had some experience with it. So I was mostly very skeptical actually when it came to AI, because first I believe he also talked about it a bit, about how some products were designed with a certain template that does not allow it to be general in that sense. And with AI, because it is something that is created from a specific area, we don't know what that template is based on. What views does it have? What has it been trained on? So when it comes to me thinking about using it for certain goals, it then becomes, does this become a general perspective, or is this already a tailored, like specific AI that was made with this views in mind?
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to asking it about opinions.
Yep.
Or when, because for me, I use it mostly to bounce ideas. Because I am also of the opinion of, like, if we use it just to get things done, we're diminishing our own ability. Whereas using it as a way to enhance our own ability is what I think was the best goal of the AI so far. But then the skeptical part, or the pessimist part, is how much of it is actually, in a way, correct. And instead of like being just fed into that machine.
Yeah.
And making it more human-like will be, like, I think the next step. But in a way,
Yeah.
I'm also very skeptical about the human-like, as in, because we're talking about inclusivity, diversity. So which human then? Because whoever is making this will have to think about what human, what's this template, what's this example we're thinking of.
Yeah.
Because going with just every human, then it has to consider all the conflicting beliefs, all the conflicting experiences, and how will that sort through it. I think that would be the biggest difficulty, to try and make AI human, because we are able to manage those conflicts, how we compromise, how we adjust to those different positions.
Yeah.
Whereas a machine is mostly just 1 or 0. It's definitely not gonna be.
Yeah.
We're far, is my perspective on it.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, I mean, I think like you're very right about having all this. I think our doubts, you know, we need to keep our doubts intact and question a lot for every piece of technology, and particularly AI, because it's going to become like really, even though Meta kind of projected, probably invested a lot more on the virtual reality, and they thought like that would take, like, you know, like sort of like that would speed up in the next couple of years, and then suddenly ChatGPT was released, and that completely derailed Meta, and now they're investing a lot more in AI. So the VR thing did not get picked up the same speed that AI is now. Like, you know, it's become, and the only reason is because it's so easy to use. The interface is so easy. But we don't know a lot. I'm not a computer engineer, or I don't know any of this like coding and how it works. And I have read a lot about it, and nobody knows about like exactly how it works. And there is a lot of concerns about AGI, which is like the artificial generative intelligence. Like, what does that mean? If they have actual sense of human being, then who are they? You know, like exactly what you just said. That where are they coming from? Because they're probably going to be a little bit more complex than just the vending machine or the soap dispenser that I talked about yesterday, that was like prototyped after probably a white man, and it was racist. But this is a lot more complex than that. They may have very complicated, who are controlling them? How are they responding us? I can give you one really interesting example. So before, like, you know, this morning I just woke up and I'm just, the same thing. I do use AI sometimes to just bounce off like different ideas. And I put down like this inclusion. I'm like, you know, like what's happening with this word around inclusion in the US? Like, give me a summary. So they gave a summary of like, you know, last couple of months of what's been going on. And then I said, like, you know, what is your, like, you know, analysis? What's your analysis? Give me an analysis. Interestingly, and this is my observation as an academic, they gave me a summary of both centrist, leftist, and conservative ideas. All three of them. They gave me a summary of like what the leftists think about the, you know, like more left-leaning scholars and activists, they think about it, and centrist, and like, you know, the conservatives. And then they label them as conservative. I, like, you know, this was not the case, I would say, even 3 months ago. If 3 months ago I asked the question, they would only give me the liberal interpretation of it. ChatGPT at least, like, you know, because it's owned by OpenAI, so that was the kind of situation. But with this changing election, They are now going to give you, because there is a big conversation happening right now in the US by the conservative, that their idea is valid and what they believe is valid. So they believe that diversity should not exist and inclusion should not exist. It's like, that needs to be heard. So it's coming to your search result as well. So it's very much controlled by someone, right?
Yeah.
It's not that they can think all these different things. What's coming to my screen is based off of changing landscape and who is controlling this. So now if a young person is doing a research about something, let's say queer issue, it's gonna get both. It's gonna get they are discriminated, but they have also, they're probably the right-wing people think they're mentally sick and blah, blah, blah. So all this seemingly outrageous thing is also going to show up in your search result. It's very interesting. I actually did not know about this, and I was so intrigued by how it responded my questions into this 3 category. Left, progressive, liberal, centrist, and conservative. So they are bringing the conservative. In fact, at OSU right now, I shouldn't be it shouldn't be there. Please edit this out. I love my job. There is a big, right, you are talking about inclusive society at OSU. There is a big conversation happening right now to build a center for conservatives.
Wow.
See, big pressure to build a center, and they're talking about, they call it intellectual diversity. By saying intellectual diversity, it's basically saying that they want to say whatever they believe in.